I found one of my unicorns. This is 13th Colony 15th Anniversary Single Barrel. Now this is a very special release, a 2024 release. This one's probably never going to be released again, but I wouldn't doubt they'll do like a 20th anniversary or something like this. But 13th Colony in and of itself holds a special place for me as a good old Georgia boy. These guys are in Americus, Georgia, just outside of Columbus, and all of their stuff has been making a lot of noise in the past couple of years. That's very good. Their basic stuff, their rye, even some of y'all were even able to get their double oak, which I heard incredible things about, but I never found it. I missed the drop or whatever around me, but I was lucky enough to grab this guy and at a decent price too. So these guys are incredibly good, and even my best friend and I were able to visit the distillery not too long ago, and we had a fantastic time. And no, they weren't selling the double oak at that time at the distillery. Their website was true. But that was a really cool tour with that. So this thing, after 15 years or so in the barrel, there's not nearly as much juice as you would imagine with 2 or 4 years or kind of aged around then. You're kind of really scraping the bottom of the barrel, as they say. But with this, it tends to take on a much darker color, kind of the older it gets, or everything with that, and don't have a lot of juice because it's so soaked up by the wood, and you're losing a lot from the angel share, as we've talked about before, that there's not a lot left. So there's only like 3,000 or so bottles of these. They're going to be pretty darn special, and secondary prices on these are insane. But with that said, let's go ahead and crack this guy open here. And these guys have the hardest corks for some reason. It's just so hard to really get in there and open it up, but we'll see how good the cork is here. Oh, that was pretty good. That was a nice fresh cork here. And we've got our 13th Colony Glencairn here ready to go. We'll pour this out. This thing clocking in at 139.2 proof or so. This thing is going to be a beast. I mean, the color kind of reminds me of Stag Junior, very reddish or so. We'll talk more about the color in a minute here, but my goodness, anything above 140 tastes like gasoline to me. So we'll see how this really goes, but I'm very excited for this pour. Oh my gosh, look at that color. Wow. That is something right there. That's like, man, that's like a Stag Junior color, or like 140 proof George T Stag or something like that. That is super red. I mean, I wouldn't say maroon or something like that, but it's kind of borderline on that. It's deeper than a bronze. I mean, I don't really know what color to call that, but like a red or so, like just almost like not chocolate, but the color is mind-blowing. That is very nice. Very, very nice there. So good cork on this. We'll put that back right on there, but we'll give it a little taste here. So here we go on the nose. Oh my gosh, wow. That's decadent. That's tons of red fruit, raspberry, cherry, a little bit of orange or so, tons of butterscotch, lots of butteriness here. So it says, you know, buttery popcorn and stuff. There's a description on the side. Take that with what you will. Your palate's going to pick up things more profoundly than mine or your best friends or whoever else will. But I always tend to take those with a grain of salt. I use them as a guide, but not an end-all be-all on what I'm going to pick up. But my goodness, that is absolutely decadent. It's almost like tons of fruit on it, and that buttery popcornness, butterscotch, and all of that stuff. It's just, it's so impactful. I mean, it smells almost like a George T Stag or a Stag Junior mixed with Thomas H. Handy a little bit. And, you know, we'll talk more about BTAC in another video, but keep your eye on those bottles if you can afford them. But anyways, back to this. So the nose is excellent. We'll take a sip here, and I am super excited for this. We drink today because tomorrow we die. Oh, wow. Oh man, be careful with this. Oh man, that's got a good bite. Oh, but wow, just even more pronounced red fruit, tons of cherry, tons of raspberry, more butter, popcorn, and everything. It's especially like the popcorn texture in the middle of the tongue and towards the back. but there's such a good syrupy viscosity that carries it throughout, and it's such a good burn going down. But be careful with this. This is quite a bite on this guy. Wow, this is, oh my gosh, this is mind-blowing. I mean, I'm gonna have a hard time ranking this with everything else I got in my collection, but wow. I always try to keep these candid, and this one has certainly guaranteed that. Wow, it's just such a good viscosity. It's very full. It's one of the most full things I've ever had. Tons of that red fruit, that popcorn. Oh my gosh, there's so much buttery popcorn on that. Butterscotch, even like a little bit of graininess on this too, but wow. This buttered popcorn thing is really carrying it a lot throughout here. I mean, this is, wow. This is really, really good. Just a even peel, syrup viscosity, and the proof really holds it all together. I mean, that is absolutely decadent and just incredible. It's gonna be a great anything drink, dessert, maybe not with your steak or something like that, but this is an incredible pour right here. And if you haven't found one yet at a good price, you've got to grab this one. I mean, my goodness, this is mind-blowing right here. So honestly, I'm putting this at like a 9.5 or so. It's pretty close to a perfect pour for me. I mean, this is incredible. It's got that little bit of brown sugar, that butteriness, that sweetness, and all that red fruit, orange, all of that fruit mixed together there in a perfect viscosity to tie it all together. And it doesn't get much better than that. So that's what I have to say about this, and that'll wrap it up for this video. Cheers.